What's going on, everybody? It's the Kitty G on EGTV, and I'm back again with another video. Welcome everybody on Twitter. Welcome everybody on Facebook. Welcome everybody on YouTube. What we're going to be talking about today is a bunch of stories. We're going to be talking about Torreira, Joe Willock, Reece Nelson. I don't know why I said Reece Nelson. Not Reece Nelson. We're going to be talking about Maddison, a bunch of other guys, Odegaard. Sheffield United want 50 million from Arsenal for 2 players. Probably not going to happen. But we're going to talk about that also. We're going to talk about the likelihood of us signing a marquee signing this summer, upwards of 65 million pounds. At least that's my opinion, but we're going to discuss that and more. But right now, guys, there's 7 more days until the Premier League season. Next Friday, Arsenal will be kicking off the Premier League season versus Brentford. And you know what? I'm ready to go. Is it next Friday or is it next Saturday? I'm getting confused right now. But we'll talk about all this and more on today's show on EGTV. Guys, do me a favor. If you're new to the channel, smash that like button and hit that subscribe button. Only like 72% of you guys who watch my content are unique viewers. So if you guys do subscribe, I'll get more subscribers and I can bring better content, better guests, better everything. So help me, help you, and you help us. And this is how it all works. Let's get the show started. You guys already know what it is, the Kitty G on EGTV, and I'll bring my guests along in a second. Let's just get the show started on the right way. You know what it is? It's the Gunners, so we always go with the gang. Bang. Yes, people. So let me begin this show by saying I got 3 special guests today. I got my guy Aslan, who's doing his thing on Twitter right now, doing all the Twitter space and everything else. So check out Aslan on Aslan AFC on Twitter. You got Gunnar Express, who has his own channel, the Gunnar Express channel on YouTube. I'll put the link in the chat in a little bit. And he's also got his Twitter, which is right there, as you guys can see it, Gunnar Express _. And we also got Jess, who's got her own channel. She knows Arsenal. If you guys don't already know about it, it's one of the biggest up-and-coming channels. And Jess is doing bits over there in America. So guys, check out Jess's channel also. Her Twitter ad's right there. It's Jessinho. So we're going to be talking about Arsenal, discussing everything around the transfer window for the next half hour. And then we're going to get into some of our opinions on some of these transfers also within this hour. So let's get started, guys. The first story I'm going to introduce to you guys today is Lucas Torreira. And this right here is a very, very touchy one for some people, because some people backed this guy to the hill when he first joined, and now it's looking like it's not going to work out. We're going to have to sell him. He was still in Madrid over the past couple of days. He hasn't played at all for Arsenal last season because he was on loan for Atletico Madrid. He won a title over there, Atletico Madrid. He's kind of a wild personality, but I don't think he likes to compete for his place in his teams. He likes to be comfortable in his positions, and he needs somebody to have an armor on his shoulder for him to do well, in my opinion. But what do you guys think about the whole situation with Lucas Torreira? It currently looks like Lazio are leading the race to sign Lucas Torreira, and it could be a situation where Arsenal lets him go on another loan this summer. So what do you guys think? I'll let you go first, Jess.
It's just unfortunate, right? I mean, it's not like he's a bad player. He's a good player. It just feels like he never really adapted to life in London. You know, I think that he said that multiple times. Like, everybody knows he had a hard time with his adaptation. And then you have 2 different managers. Neither are really interested in playing him. We know what Unai Emery did, and Arteta just pretty much was like, yo, you're not really a part of the plan. So it's unfortunate that the pandemic kind of coincides with this whole scenario, because I do feel like his age and, profile, we could get pretty much what we paid for him back if we weren't in a pandemic, but we are, and it looks like we're only going to be able to loan him out. The good thing is his value is not really decreasing, but we will have to at some point be able to sell him. And looking at his contract length as well, it's getting to the point where it's like we need to make a decision, but a loan looks most likely. He wants to go to Italy. That's best for him. It's just unfortunate because I do think he started out quite good at Arsenal, but now we're looking at somebody who can't get back, so I'm okay with him going. I just hope at some point we're able to recoup a fee for him, because he's too young for us to not get anything for him.
There you go. Gunnar Express, what do you think about the whole Lucas Torreira situation, him going to Lazio? And I'm not sure, were you one of those guys saying he's better than Conte when he joined, and now just saying nah?
Well, I mean, I loved Torreira when he first joined. I've got a Torreira shirt. Obviously, I kind of wish I didn't get that now. But I do like Torreira. I think he's a very good player. I think, a bit like Jess said, it's his adaptation to England as a country and to the Premier League as a footballing league. I think that's what he struggled with the most. And I don't think it's just him. There were stories saying that his wife hated England to the point where she's left. You know, she's not living with him in England anymore because she just doesn't like the country. So, you know, that's always going to hinder a player, you know, being alone in a new country, in a new environment and not having, you know, your wife or any family there with you. And then obviously his mother passing recently as well, which is just going to add on to that, you know, pain and heartache essentially. So I think it's a bit sad for Torreira. I think everything's a bit unfortunate. I think he has the talent to succeed in the Premier League. But I just don't think right now he has the mentality. And that's not me saying he has a poor mentality. I think he's just quite unlucky with the circumstances that he's in right now. And I think the best option for him is to go to Italy or to go to Boca Juniors, where he's obviously said that he wants to play. And I think it'd be best for Arsenal just to let him go. I agree with Jess. We do need to get a fee of him. We can't just obviously let him go for free or anything like that. Now I would be okay with a loan move, but it's the same situation. I'd rather us get the money because I worry that obviously with his contract running down and in case he doesn't perform well, his value will keep decreasing. So for me, it's best if we try and get as much money as we can this season. You know, if we can't, then yes, go with a loan. But it's just a shame, man. I really liked Torreira. When he scored that goal against Tottenham, I really thought he'd kick on from that point and become one of the better midfielders in the league. And obviously, again, that unfortunately didn't happen, essentially. But yeah, man, it's just unfortunate. There's no other way of really saying it, I don't think. It's just unlucky, essentially.
Okay, Aslan, finally, Lazio looked to be getting starting Torreira talks. Torreira seems like his career at Arsenal is done and dusted. Just what's your thoughts on Torreira? And do you think sending him on loan again would be smart, or would you rather just sell him?
I mean, for me, best case scenario would be to obviously sell him because he's only got 2 years remaining on his contract. And, you know, with the state of what the world is at right now, how broke these other clubs in the continent are compared to, you know, the Premier League. You know, I don't really see us breaking even whatsoever because even when we sent him out on loan to Atletico Madrid, he didn't feature much. I don't know the exact stats, you know, on his appearances and minutes played and stuff like that. But from what I heard, that was the case. And you know, like, look, when we first bought him, I was very excited because he was that type of terrier type player where he would always be very close to to the opposition when they were in possession. But like Jess said earlier, you know, both managers unfortunately have messed him around. I'd say it was more with Emery, but then like, after seeing him cry, you know, what the fans done to Xhaka or what Xhaka done to the fans, for me that just shows. Look, I'm old school and I want fighters and warriors in my team. And if I see a player or, you know, a professional player cry when fans are just booing at another teammate of his, that just shows to me he doesn't have the mentality to fight for Arsenal, basically. So, yeah, I mean, look, best case scenario is us selling him, getting as much money as we can. But if we can only loan him, it has to be an obligation to buy because he's only got 2 years remaining. So
I think Jess wanted to say something on that. Jess,
there's and these are just rumors, but I believe this because we have seen like small clips of these types of things come out. But he also was like, it's rumored that he was also bullied at Arsenal by some of the guys like on the team, which sucks. But at the same time, like, come on, like,
did I say? Sorry to cut you, Jess. Did I mention that this guy has got a lion tattoo on his skin?
Yeah.
Oh, does he?
So if you've got a lion tattoo on your skin to prove that you're alpha, yeah, but yet you cry like a little child, yeah, when you're a grown man, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, like there's no room for you. Like, look,
I
you
did
guys
see
have
that.
heard me say about when we attract players this summer, forget skill set and ability, right, and talent. It has to be the mental. If they don't have the attitude, character, and the like overall strong mentality to be a fighting warrior for this team, then they don't deserve to be in this squad. Adios, amigos.
Okay. Enough about one midfielder. Show. I was gonna let you speak on this, but you got hijacked by the little one.
Oh, sure, leave me alone, man. Get out, man.
All right. So yeah, what are you gonna say? What do you want to say on Lucas Torreira, man?
Torreira's a wild one, bro. Like with Torreira, yeah. I agree with. I'll be back in it. I'll be back, guys.
No problem. You got daddy duties. That's adorable. Okay. We're gonna move on to the next topic, guys. But quickly, let's just see what the people in the chat are saying. Some of the people were saying, "Real men cry." Aslan, that's what one person said.
Bro, I'm not saying men can't cry. Look, I'm a man in my 30s. Like, I've cried. Yeah, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with crying, but you know, in a professional game, when it's a sporting event, you can't show them type of emotions. That's what I mean by that. But obviously, you know, like when it comes to reality, day-to-day lives, you know, obviously if certain things happens in your life, of course you're gonna cry. We're all human, man. We all have emotions. None of us are robots out here. But when it comes to the professional game, I don't want to see no one crying. That's just me. I'm old school, man. What can I say?
No problem. Completely understood to a certain degree. Now we're going to move on to the next story. The next story is Joe Willock, guys. So I heard yesterday that Newcastle, Joe Willock is getting ever closer. 25 million pounds is being spoken about. I heard 22 million. I heard numbers all over the place. I don't know which number to believe, but let's just look at the report and let's just see what it says, right? So Joe Willock is close to going back to Newcastle after having a very successful loan stead last year at Newcastle. It looks like he could be going back there for the mere price of 25 million pounds. Now, Arsenal, this was first reported by 90 Min, right? 90 Min Football have first reported this. The box-to-box midfielder last year had a successful loan spell, scoring 7 goals in 7 appearances for Newcastle. Some of those appearances coming off the bench. So, of course, he is an integral part to their team last season and then for them staying up. So it makes sense for them to go back in for him and try to buy him. That's what they've done this summer, and they're going to be trying to force Arsenal to sell. 25 million, I think Arsenal might accept it. But I personally think we should take the money, reinvest this money into getting a marquee signing like James Maddison this summer, who takes us from one level to another level higher. And 25 million for Joe Willock. If we do sell him and he doesn't do as well this year for Newcastle, we got a bargain. But if he does well, we're going to be hearing fans moaning and groaning about why we should have kept him. I don't want to hear that because we've had so many players where we could have sold them in the past. Hector Bellerin at 45 million for Barcelona. Ainsley Maitland-Niles last year to Wolves. We could have sold Alexis Sanchez for 60 million. We made the mistake of not selling. Sometimes when we get an actual good valuation for our players, it's maybe good to just move them on and get the price. That's what I think. But everyone has their opinion, and let's get to everyone's opinion, see what they have to say. Jess, what do you think about Joe Willock selling him for 25 million pounds to Newcastle?
I have really strong opinion about this. I cannot understand the wanting to keep Joe Willock. I love Joe, but so many opportunities to sell players. Like, there's not just the fee, the cost, there's opportunity cost about keeping players in your team, you know, that you need to go ahead and move on. I get the whole, like, well, we don't have goals from midfield, so why would we sell the one player that we have that can? But my caveat to that is he scored those goals at Newcastle. When he played for us, he had 1 goal in 14 Premier League appearances. So in our system, on our team, he doesn't score those goals. So you can't really count them and make that an Arsenal thing. It's just not. And 25 million. So Joe Willock also next summer will only have 1 year left on his deal. He's probably not going to re-sign because at Arsenal, he's a rotational player. So, I mean, we're talking about the difference between getting 25 million now, being able to use that to improve the squad. 25 million goes a really long way, or getting nothing and complaining once again that we messed it up. We didn't sell a player when we should have. There's Nketiah still here. We could have sold him in January. We could have sold Ainsley Maitland-Niles to Wolves for 15 to 20 million. Now we can't get rid of him. Should have sold Lacazette to AS Roma last summer. He's actively keeping us from being able to get Lautaro Martinez because it's not a money thing. They're just still in the squad thing. So I get the Joe Willock thing. I get it. I love Joe, but he doesn't score those goals in our team, and that's all that matters. So for me, this is a no-brainer. Sell. His value will never be higher than this. You know what I mean? So I don't really know why we'd be upset if we sold Joe Willock. I don't get it. Sell quickly as possible.
Okay. I'm going to throw it over to you, Sho. You're next. What do you think about the whole Joe Willock thing, 25 million? Are you selling him at that price point?
You know me, man. I feel like Arsenal are being taken for mugs in this window. I think like we always have been. We never sell players for what we deem them to be worth. We look at all of these other teams that are quoting us ridiculous prices for players that haven't even done anything or proven themselves in the Premier League. That's just my big thing. I genuinely think if all of these players with the English tax that they like to talk about is going for prices way higher than this, or without even playing a game and stuff like that, I believe he's worth more. But just like you just said, I had no idea he actually had 1 year when he's left, 1 year when he's still next year. So I guess that would definitely drop his price tag down. At this precise moment, I value Joe Willock at 30 mil. I don't think we should accept anything less than that. However, like Jay said, we're not really going to get much higher for it, although I do believe we should, and he is worth more. But yeah, I would sell, because I don't see him playing more than 15 games for us this season, or 20 games. Do you know what I mean? Which means he's not going to be as impactful as he would have been for New. Yeah, I would say sell. I would say sell, because I don't think he's going to add much to our team, and I don't see him playing much.
Yeah, Gunnar Express, you back with us?
Bro, I can't come on camera right now, innit? I'll come on in like 10 minutes or so. But I can still talk, bro.
What do you want to say, though?
On Joe Willock, I kind of agree with what's been said. Everybody knows my opinion already if you've been watching the Gauge channel for a while. I want Joe Willock gone. It's not that I don't think he's particularly a good player or anything like that. I just don't think he suits the system. And I do genuinely believe that what he was doing at Newcastle was a bit of a purple patch. I think it's the same thing for Lingard at West Ham. Obviously, both players have been, stuck at a team that's a little bit too good for them. They go to a team that is their level and they perform. So I think I don't think he's worth keeping. I really don't. The value that he's at right now, 25, 30 mil, that's a lot of money. That's money we can use to get a Basuma or a right back or, a goalkeeper or whoever. So I think it's wise for us to sell. Again, I'll quickly break it down why I don't think he fits the system. Played in a 5 at the back at Newcastle with 2 midfielders. He was obviously one of those 2, which means he has a lot of space and time on the ball. He has a lot of defenders behind him as passing options. And Newcastle don't get pressed as much as someone like an Arsenal, which means Willock he naturally will get more time on the ball. And we've seen at Arsenal, Willock's not great under pressure. So many times he had the ball in the box, and instead of picking out a pass, he randomly just shoot, and it equaled to nothing. And usually when you look back at it, someone was open for a pass, or someone was in a better position to shoot, and Willock didn't see that person in time. And I think for me, that's because he's not great under pressure. So I don't want him at Arsenal. I take the money. I think 25 mil, I kind of agree with Shocks. I think it's a little bit too low, but the club's going to take what they want to take. So, I'm not going to complain, but I wish Willock well, obviously one of the academy boys. So I wish him well at Newcastle. And I think that's his level, as in, I think he'll do well at Newcastle. And like you said earlier, I'm not going to complain if he does well at Newcastle. I'm not, because I think that's his system. I think it fits him well. And again, I hope he does well. I really hope he does.
Okay, so I'm just going to start by answering some of the comments. First, we're going to talk about Bernardo Silva, James Maddison in a while. What's cooking, people? Legends in the chat. Big up Mr. Bongo. Been supporting since sunny unfiltered days, my guy. What do you call it? Yeah, we are linked to some players, but none of them are new. We've been linked to Bernardo Silva before, after the Champions League. We've been linked to all these players that we're discussing today in the past. Any new links, guys? I don't think we've been linked to any new players today. So if you guys are looking for new links, I don't have any for you. We haven't been linked to a new right back, midfielder, nothing. Everything is a player that we've been linked to. We're swinging into the window. I'll be surprised if we get linked to a new player at some point this near the last end of the season. If we do get a new player that we're linked to, guess what? Hopefully, we pull a Chelsea and we just next day you find out that he signed. That's what I want. I don't want a situation.
Oh no, we have been linked to someone. Messi, bro.
No, that's we talked about that yesterday.
Really
Yes, did you mute Messi to Arsenal on your Twitter?
Oh my goodness. But the memes and stuff were hilarious yesterday. Honestly, that's what I'm here for on football Twitter, for real.
Yeah, we're gonna get to Aslan's point on this because Aslan's categorically against all of us when it comes to the Joe Willock sale. But just one moment. Transfer preseason has been a problem since Dean left. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. Big up to everybody in the chat. Yes, people, let's smash that like button, people. We don't have that many people smashing that like button. We already have over 100 people in the chat, but not even 50% of you have smashed that like button. Let's get to Aslan's point. Aslan, last time we spoke, you wanted to keep Joe Willock, but at 25 million, it looks like the club is going to sell Joe Willock. Is that a mistake?
Well, I mean, looking at the time that we have left remaining and the lack of sales that we have made, the lack of buys or incomings that we've made, no, I mean, look, it obviously makes sense, you know, because I've been told for the longest we're a business. So business-wise, I guess it does make sense. But if it just purely comes down to the actual individual as a football player, I don't want to sell him one bit. He is the last person on the transfer list for me, right? And I feel that, you know, he has a lot to offer. Like out of the academy graduates, look, Saka definitely deserves to stay. Smith Rowe, obviously, he signed as well. Martinelli, he even though he didn't come from the academy, but he's at a similar age. And for me, finally, it's Joe Willock. I feel that we should get rid of someone like Nketiah and Ainsley Maitland-Niles and loan out Reece Nelson because he's not going to get the game time because we're unable to get rid of Willian. But yeah, back to Joe Willock. Look, I feel we need to keep him. I feel play him as an 8 is ideal, whether we carry on with this 4-2-3-1 system going into the new campaign. And if we're unable to get Maddison, I feel we can also play as a cam. So I think he would be able to create healthy competition for either a Granit Xhaka in that midfield or a Smith Rowe in that attacking midfield position. So yeah, I personally would take it, keep him. But if the club decide to sell him, I'd be okay with it only if they implement a clause or a couple of clauses, you know, like a potential sell-on clause or a first refusal, like whatever the clauses that are going around these days. I want them to implement that. I want Arsenal Football Club to pressure the club into accepting and not allow smaller clubs to dictate to us into accepting these type of silly clauses. So that's how I feel on the matter.
Okay, so I got 2 more minutes before I schedule to do fake news or real news. So let me introduce this to you. Jess, what we do is over here, I'm not sure if you've been here since I've done fake news and real news, but what we do is we discuss a couple of points and news stories that come up today that are new, that we haven't seen in a while, and we identify if they're fake or real. So today I have 3 stories that I'm going to be discussing if they're fake or real, and we're going to be getting into. One of them is we're linked to a right back. We were linked to a midfielder from Spain, and a certain Sheffield United link that we're going to find out if it's real or fake also. So we're going to talk about those 3 stories. Let's get this show started, people. And let me just timestamp it. It's 24 minutes in. So yeah. So if people don't know what we're discussing, I'm going to show you guys in a second. First person that we're linked to is a right back. I don't even know which team he plays for before this summer.
Yeah.
I've never heard of him before this summer. I personally don't watch too much of his team play. But when we were linked to him, I started to open my eyes, start to look at him because Tottenham are also linked to him. The gentleman is 22 years old. I don't even know how to pronounce his name properly. Tomiyasu, there you go. Thank you for helping me out there. He's been linked to numerous teams over in the Premier League. He's been linked to Arsenal. He's been linked to Tottenham. He's even been linked to a lesser team. I think it was Everton or something like that at one point. It was also linked to a possible swap deal for Hector Bellerin, but everybody's linked to a swap deal for Hector Bellerin. I don't know if there's any truth to that. He currently plays in Italy, right? For how do you pronounce that name again?
Bologna.
Bologna. Thank you. I'm terrible with pronunciations, guys, if you haven't noticed. So yeah, so the story is today that Arsenal could be working out a deal with Bologna, but nothing has progressed. There's no price valuation linked to the valuation. There's no price linked to it. Here's the report. Let me just get it up for you guys. This is what the report says.
Bologna defender Takehiro Tomiyasu's entourage working day after day in an attempt to get him to play in the Premier League, whether it is to Arsenal or somewhere else. Player liked by Arsenal and a couple of other English clubs. Corriere dello Sport via Rat Sport Witness.
Okay, so as you guys heard right there, this is more of a link from his team side. So how true, would you say this is a real link to Arsenal, or would you say it's a fake? Would you say it's fake news? Because there is some truth to it. But what I'm asking is, do you really think he'll join Arsenal? That's what I'm saying is real or fake, guys. So I'll start with you, Sho, if you're still there.
Yeah, I'm there, man. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah. From what I believe, he was linked to Tottenham first.
Yeah.
And that sounds like they just didn't want, his camp didn't want him to go to Tottenham, so they just threw Arsenal out there. So then it just becomes some bidding war, or loads of people will start. I think it's fake. I haven't seen enough of him, but what I heard is that he is actually quite a good right back, to be honest. Like he gets up and down the pitch, got good crossing. Apparently, that's what I've heard. But I ain't seen no compilations or games or matches with him in it. But yeah, I'm on the fake news side, man.
I think it takes a long time for Italian players to adjust to coming to the Premier League, or players coming from Serie A to the Premier League. So I don't know how he would adjust. I think it's fake news, and personally, I wouldn't want him as our right back solution.
I think when you're coming from the Italian league, it just depends on what position you are going to play and the way how it would adapt to the Premier League. That's what I actually believe.
Spurs have signed Christian Romero.
Yeah, we already know they have no center back. They're going to sign.
They've just confirmed it 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, they're going to sign a center back. They have no center backs.
Isn't that the first signing of the window, though?
Yeah, that's
this is second.
Second, because they signed the Atlanta goalkeeper on loan. Yeah,
they signed the young kid too as well. That they
what's his name? Gill, Hill, innit? Brian Gill.
Jess, what about you? Do you think
Brian Gill. Yeah.
Do you think this is real or fake?
This for me feels more like his agent is shopping him around. He wants to come to London/England, and he probably had meetings or WhatsApp conversations with us and Tottenham. We probably both said yes, we'd be interested in a right back if we can sell blank, blank, and blank. To my knowledge, Aurier is still at Tottenham. Is he gone yet? So if he's still there, then they don't need a right back. And we haven't sold our right backs either. So it just feels like if we were to sell this player, we'd be interested. It feels very loose. I never really believe rumors that have us and Tottenham in it at the same time. It just feels very convenient. And also it sells stories. Having Spurs and Arsenal in your headline makes a lot of sense. So I think it's agent talk more than anything. And from watching him, although I think he's okay, I feel like we can do better.
There you go. Gunnar Express?
Well, I'm not going to claim like I know anything about him. All I know is he's pretty good on FIFA, and he has a good potential. That's about it. But yeah, man, I don't know much about him. I mean, I'll be honest. If he's linked to Spurs, I don't want him. That's it. Anyone that's linked to Spurs, I don't really want because it's Spurs. But I agree with Jess.
Crying about Romero, bro. Like,
Stop it.
Romero's different. No. Jack Grealish ain't real, bro. No, Jack Grealish is a different source, bro. Spurs are never getting that guy. Yeah, but I agree with Jess. I don't think it's real. The reason why is obviously Tottenham want him, so I think that means that what they're trying to do is link every Tottenham player or that's being linked with Tottenham to us. They do it every year. It's the same thing. I don't think Tottenham are interested in Houssam Aouar, but they're linking him to him because we're linked to him. So it's like they're sharing these links to get the fan bases to clash, to get the clicks, to get the the hashtags and all this sort of stuff around. And I think it's just his agent trying to get him out there because Bologna, they're not a great team. He's probably not getting paid a lot of money. So he probably does want to move to England and especially to London because why would you not want to live in London, if you're a foreign player? So I think it's fake.
There you go. Aslan, I'm just going to move past this one. I'll go to the next one for you. But do you think this was a quick point? Do you think it was fake or real that we were after?
Yeah, as real as Stan Kroenke's hair. Fake.
Okay. Okay, we'll keep it
That was
moving.
good for man. That
was confirmation right there.
That was
Okay,
very
so
good,
it
man.
looks like
That's a
this
low blow.
guy. This is the next story. Guido Rodriguez has been linked to Arsenal numerous times this summer already, and it looks like Arsenal and Liverpool are both looking at him. He could sign for Liverpool for about 34 million, and that's the rumor that Real Betis midfielder is now. Arsenal and Liverpool have been given a huge boost in the possible signing of Guido Rodriguez. Guido
Or Guido.
Rodriguez.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce it?
I think it's Guido.
Guido Rodriguez. He has a release clause of 68 million, but they've lowered it to now 34. That's what they're willing to get. So I don't think we actually are in for him at all. I just think this is Real Betis linking a player away. This is a reasonable price for a player that fits both Arsenal and Liverpool's needs to a certain degree. And what the media are going to do is they're going to link apples and oranges to each other just because that they're both fruits. That's what I think.
What position does he play? Midfield.
He's a midfielder.
Okay. What type of midfielder is he?
I think
Like a CDM.
Yeah,
CDM.
CDM.
All right.
So
This is fake, bro.
everyone's
You've given Xhaka a new contract and you expect us to sign this guy.
Okay, so that keeps it simple, guys. Everyone just saying fake news, so we can just keep it moving.
Yes.
Yeah, he ain't got a great potential on FIFA, so I'm alright, bro.
Yeah, enough said. I know the kids like these days love FIFA, so I don't know what you're on, but hey,
Bro, I only talk FIFA, bro. That's my football knowledge, and it's just pure FIFA.
there you
I thought
go.
he was a football manager type guy, you know.
Nah, they won that, bro. It's too complicated.
All right, now the next story, guys. I'm gonna have to get into detail about this one a little bit more than you guys would like. Aaron Ramsdale. Now, I know a lot of you guys probably don't want Aaron Ramsdale. If I did a quick poll between just us five here, it would probably be everyone here didn't want Aaron Ramsdale. Am I correct?
Not for the price. And he's like, no, we don't want Ramsdale. But I'll tell you this from now, right?
Yeah.
See with what Leno offers us, right?
Yeah.
I'm fed up. I'm done with Leno, you know. I see the same mistakes going in, and I asked this question the other day, and I said to put it out on the Twitter space, and I said, "Is Ramsdale good with his feet and distributing the ball? Does he? And how is he under pressure when he is?" And then I think everyone said he's anyway, right?
Ramsdale is the one goalkeeper who kicked it the long the most in the Premier League last season. So we don't even know what his ability is with.
Because you do what your club asks you to do. You know, like when Arteta came in, Leno started playing short. That's because what he's been asked to do. I think my thing with the Ramsdale situation is mostly just the price. Like, you know what I mean? And if you bring in Ramsdale and then at the end of the window, we have Ben White, Ramsdale, Tavares, and Lakanga, and that's it, then it's an issue. But if you bring in Maddison and we kind of fix the other holes and then you bring in Ramsdale as well, then that's where, you know, it's like, it's fine, you know, but goalkeeping experts say that he's really good. I mean, what other 23-year-olds are starting in the Premier League? You know, like he's 23. Most goalkeepers get into their prime at like 28. Yeah, but it's the price. Like it's just the price, and then this anxiety that you feel about like, well, do we have the money to do other things? You know, I mean, if I'll ask you guys, if we had Maddison and we got our right back and we had a central midfielder and everything else we've already done, if at the very like last minute we spent 30 million on Ramsdale, will we be upset if we had fixed everything else? I don't think we'd be as upset. You know what I mean?
Not really, no.
I hear that.
It's just more about
let me just
order.
read this comment, guys. 1 second. How do you say it? Correa from Lazio is linked and is looking like we're actively looking for a deal to a striker. What? I don't think we're going to be getting the Lazio player, man. I generally think we're going higher for our striker.
I'd rather have Lacazette than Joaquin Correa.
And we're looking at players that are a step above Lacazette. So with Martinez, it's night and day, the difference between Lacazette and Martinez. But Correa, we don't really know his level to that extent, and I don't know how much of an upgrade he would be on a Lacazette. So I wouldn't be able to give you too much nuance on that. But let's get into the Ramsdale situation. So guys, Ramsdale, this is the story, and I'm gonna frustrate some people, but this is what I found. I found an article today on Caught Offside where they're talking about 50 million valuation for two players coming in from Sheffield United. Sheffield United want a minimum of 50 million total if we want to sign both Ramsdale and Sander Berg together. So that would mean valuation 30 million for Ramsdale, 20 million for Sander Bergs, 50 million overall. The source, according to the Daily Star, via the cutoff side. So that is not the most reliable news outlet with stories, but what you got to realize is not even the most reliable news outlets get things right all the time, and they don't get things wrong all the time. For example, yesterday Marca said Messi was leaving before anybody else did. Everyone said you're lying, you're lying, because Fabrizio said he's not leaving. But guess what? Barcelona dropped a news story immediately afterwards. So sometimes the people who are not the most reliable can still get things right. So what do you guys think about 50 million for Ramsdale and Sander Bergs?
There seems to be something in it, because I mean, this Sander Berg news has been going on since the beginning. I think before the window even opened. I mean, if you're one to believe reports and stuff, it's been going on for a while. You know what I mean? From the days they quoted him like 35 million. So I don't know. There's a possibility, and obviously we've been this Ramsdale story will not go away. So I don't know. There might be a slight chance of it. Do I want that? Well, that's a whole different question there, my friend. But
this is the story. Arsenal were told by Sheffield United 50 million to complete the transfers on one condition: if we buy both of them for 50 million. That's the only way we're getting them. We're not getting them if we try to submit a 20 million pound bid for Sander Bergs, they're going to reject it. If we try to submit a 30 million pound bid for a thing, they're going to reject it. But if we buy both of them, they're going to accept it. That's what they're saying.
See, you know what? Them man are doing that. You know, like when you get like multi-pack bags of crisps, but it says not to be sold on its own. That's what them man are trying to do there, bro, man. Fuck these words, man. Let them get relegated in peace. And just
That's terrible. I mean, does Sander Berg even improve us? Like, you know what I mean? I think we want Ramsdale bad. I think that is quite clear that we want a homegrown young goalkeeper that they can mold. Apparently, Inaki really likes him, whatever. But the Sander Berg thing, he doesn't make us better. Like, from a profile perspective, yes, he plays midfield. He's 23, la, 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 la. That guy's been injured for a very, very long time. I'm not sure about his fitness. He didn't really pull up trees at Sheffield. I mean, if you're as highly rated as you are and you go to Sheffield and you do absolutely nothing, then I'm worried. I don't like that. But if we end up with Sander Berg, I don't like it. That stinks. That stinks to me. That stinks. I'd rather not get another midfielder.
Sander Berg is a downgrade on Xhaka, in my opinion.
He's not. He doesn't improve us. He doesn't make us any better. Like,
no, wasn't you one of the ones that was saying you rate Sander Berg?
Bro, I looked at the opinions can change. You do realize that, right? I looked at his actual I looked at how he plays, what he does, everything that he brings to the table, and I looked at it and I said to myself, he's worse in almost every category than Xhaka. He's only younger.
I think there's somebody on the coaching staff that really likes him.
That's from the statistical output and looking at what he brings to the table. If we're bringing him in as a backup to Xhaka, we already brought in Lokonga. Why are we going to bring in another guy?
Well, I think we do need another person, but not Sander Berg. You know what I mean?
I don't think the issue with this deal is Berg, though. I think the issue with this deal is Ramsdale. He's an awful goalkeeper. The worst goalkeeper the last 2 seasons he's played in the Prem. The only 2 seasons he's ever played in the Prem. I think apparently he's even been relegated 3 times as he got relegated in a different league.
His team got relegated, not just him.
No, but he's in that team. He starts in that team, which means he got relegated. As well, in Yaki,
he didn't relegate them.
I mean, he conceded 125 goals, so over the space of 2 seasons. You know? No, but I hear that. But when you look at it like this, he played for 2 different teams in the Premier League with 2 different styles of players. Nathan Ake was also one of those defenders in front of him. He still conceded 125 goals, conceded over 300 shots, won only 16 games, lost 50. He ain't good enough. If Arsenal want to get relegated, go ahead, sign him. But other than that, I don't want him anywhere near the team. As well, Iñaki, I want that guy sacked immediately. He's useless. Runarsson, really? This guy wants Ramsdale as well. This guy, apparently, from what Leno has said, he actually complained about Iñaki and wanted Woodman to be the main goalkeeping coach. Iñaki's still the main goalkeeping coach, and Woodman's no longer at the club. And as well, ever since Iñaki came into the team, Leno's got a lot worse. So I think Iñaki is actually a hindrance to the club more than he is actually helping us.
Yeah, but
And
look what he's got worse at.
I
Though.
want him. Bro,
Look what-
he makes more mistakes. His kicking even out the back has got significantly worse. He can't even like pass the ball out the back anymore, which is something he actually could do once. He's just a worse goalkeeper. He doesn't look like he's interested anymore. He looks like he's not bothered, and I think a lot of that is down to the fact that he has formally complained about a goalkeeping coach, and the club hasn't listened to him when he's meant to be the main goalkeeper. He was told he's number one. Yeah, I'll always be number one. All this rubbish. And when he makes a complaint about a goalkeeping coach, the club, they don't just not listen to him. They actually make it worse by then getting rid of Woodman, someone that Leno openly praised and said should be the main goalkeeping coach. So I think, for me, I don't want anything to do with Iñaki. I think the club should stay away from him. I think we should sack him immediately. And any goalkeeper that he recommends, we should probably blacklist them from ever joining the club because this guy has no idea what he's doing. I mean, even look at Brentford.
Goalkeeping coach trying to encourage this player to use his head more.
Bro, he was
Look
at him at Brentford, right? Because that's the team that we got him from. David Raya is a decent goalkeeper, but he was making mistakes at Brentford when Iñaki was there. The minute Iñaki left, David Raya made significantly less mistakes. Significantly less. So whether that's down to Iñaki or not, but it's a coincidence that as soon as Iñaki leaves, he makes less mistakes. And as soon as Iñaki joins Arsenal, all our goalkeepers begin to make more mistakes, except from Emi Martinez. So for me, again, I don't want Ramsdale. The money that we're paying for him is absurd. If we want a young English goalkeeper, go get Freddie Woodman. He's cheaper, he's better, he has more potential, and he hasn't been relegated twice. So for me, Ramsdale is a no-no, not even for £5 million. I've openly said that many times on Spaces and on YouTube. I'll be very upset with Ramsdale. I will not back that player at all. I will not back him because he doesn't deserve to be backed because he's not good enough. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Though.
Wow, Guido's moving like me, boy.
Blatantly.
Spoken. Azan, what's your final take on the whole?
Bro, for the benefit of my sanity, I'll just be brief. I don't want either. Yeah, and I'll just keep it plain and simple, basic. No. Double thumbs down. There's better players that can be identified. That's what I have to say on the matter.
Okay. Can I just say we're gonna move on swiftly to the next topic, guys?
You ain't said yours.
I did say mine.
Did you?
Yeah, I've said it numerous times. I don't want Aaron Ramsdale, and I don't want Sander Bergs, and I don't want to spend that type of money on them because I would rather spend 30 million on Basuma and spend like 10 million on less than 10 million on Onana. But I don't think we're gonna do that.
All right, cool.
Right? Let's talk about Lautaro Martinez. And Jess, this is one of the reasons why I brought you on. I wanted to get your take on Lautaro Martinez because it's quite different from everybody else's. When it comes to the actual news story today with what's going on with Lautaro Martinez, let me tell you guys. Inter are in a financial situation where their owners and the people who the consortium of team that own Inter are currently in a financial situation where they need to sell players because they cannot afford to hold on to the team as currently constructed. It looks like a lot of players might be actually sold. Lukaku might be sold for a possible 100 million, but they want to keep Lukaku supposedly. But if they do get the right offer from Chelsea, they will accept. Also, finding a situation where Arsenal are currently in the driving seat. All Arsenal has to do is submit a bid close to the valuation of £65 million with possible add-ons to reach the value of £65 million. And it seems like the consortium of team that work with Inter currently will accept the bid. Also, Arsenal were looking at possible swap deals, including Lacazette. Arsenal were also looking at other possibilities to get maybe Hector Bellerin part of a swap deal. Seems like Inter need the cash. Inter need cash in the future, or currently they're willing to take payments. But at the moment, the deal looks like Inter were trying to get a new deal for Martinez. He declined any deal that they offered them. They cannot offer him more than 4.5 million euros per year. Arsenal are willing to sign him up and give him about 6.5 million per year. They are not willing to meet that valuation. He will move to Arsenal if given the opportunity. It's in Arsenal's hands to submit the bid. At the moment, no official bid over the price of £65 million cash has been submitted. If it does get submitted, even with add-ons, they will accept it. That is what the rumors say. This is not my ITKs. This is nothing like that. It's just this is what I'm hearing from numerous sources. Now, getting back to everybody here, do you think Martinez is an upgrade on Lacazette? Yes, everyone agrees, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Agrees he's an upgrade on Lacazette, right? Now Martinez, since this makes it seem like we're going to be spending 65 million on a player, either Martinez or about Maddison at this point. Martinez does play as a false 9. Lacazette was playing as a false 9 last year. It just makes sense fit-wise. Price, it seems like 65 million is the valuation of both Maddison and him. So it seems like we're going to be spending 65 million. Do you believe Arsenal will get a marquee signing done this summer? And if they do get a marquee signing done, do you believe it's going to be Lautaro Martinez? I'll let you go first, Jess.
Marquee signing, yes. Lautaro Martinez, no. Like, I'm sorry, but is Lacazette gone somewhere? Has he been sold? No. Until you sell Nketiah and Lacazette, this man's not coming in. I think a lot of reports have said that all this great and wonderful stuff, getting us all excited about it, it can be done. We have the money. He wants to come. But at the very bottom, fine print, we have to sell players first. And this all goes back to we need to know when to sell and cut our losses, to be honest. And if Lacazette's not here, we can bring him in, So as long as Lacazette's at the club, I don't see this coming to fruition, and it'll feel like a big loss because although I think we have a lot of options up front, I don't think any of them really solve our issues. And I don't think what we have currently gets us to top 4. None of the options that we have up top, not Aubameyang, Lacazette, not the both of them together, not Willian, not Pepe, none of that going together gets us top 4. So
sorry about that.
We definitely need a striker. It'd be nice to bring him in, but I think Maddison comes in, and I think we missed out on Lautaro because we can't get rid of Lacazette. And I don't see Inter taking Lacazette in any sort of swap, or anything like that. So it's just unfortunate because who's taking Lacazette on those wages? It's just, he could be at AS Roma right now, but we chose to keep him. It's just catastrophic how we don't get rid of players when we should.
Sure.
I wasn't even speaking, bro.
No, you're next.
Yeah. I do believe we're going to get a marquee signing. I think we've got about another 2 to 3 signings to come in before the window closes. That's just what I think, guys. Don't attack me. I'm not in the know. I'm not nothing like that. It's just truly what I believe. The Martinez thing, I think he would suit our game from what I've seen of him, minus if we never had Lacazette, of course. But like Jess just said, we've got 4 strikers on our books, bro. We're I don't see it being a major concern for this window unless one of those strikers do actually leave. 1 or 2 of them strikers actually leave. I think that they're going to probably send Balogun on loan as well because I don't see him getting much game time this year. So someone like Martinez would be ideal if we are still going to get rid of Lacazette as well. I don't know. With the Lacazette thing, I do think they're going to try and get some sort of money. It's just who? It's just literally who? I mean, obviously he's been linked to Atletico at one point. But I don't see them spending the dough. So yeah, I think we're going to get a marquee side, and I just don't think it's going to be a striker. I think the striker will be next year.
Got it. And then just before we finish off the Martinez thing, I'm going to throw it over to Aslan and Guido Express, but I'm going to change the question slightly. Guys, do you think it would be a mistake to spend 65 million on a Martinez when we still have so many other holes in the squad?
Mate, one second, Aslan. 1 sec, bro. There's over 200 people in the chat, man, and there's 74 likes. Get the likes to 100 likes, people.
Despicable.
Come on.
Get the likes to 100
people.
likes.
Come on, people. Like up, subscribe up, show your love and support, man. Come on, man.
There you go. Aslan, so I'll throw it over to you first. And then if Jess or Sho want to jump in on this also, 65 million is quoted to be we're going to be spending on Lautaro Martinez. Would you rather spend that 65 million on a midfielder, right back, goalkeeper, or is it plausible and makes sense to upgrade Lacazette to a Martinez?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, look, I've said it for the longest, even before this last season came to an end, that I want to see the midfield and the right back spots. They're the key area of focuses for me. Because Pepe had like 4 different right backs play behind him for the past 2 seasons, so that's definitely a position. Basically, someone like a KT on that right hand side. That's what I want. And the midfield. If we went in for a striker, that would be a luxury signing. But again, like obviously, it all depends on what the club are willing to do with Oba or Laka. I guess it would be more likely to move on Lacazette. He only has a deal, a year left on his current contract, so that would make more sense. Would we get a lot of money for him? No, but if we get around 15 mil, I would take it because he's 30 years old now, and we've got other up and coming strikers who could. I'd feel confident that they will test Oba. But saying that, would they be enough going into next season? No, they wouldn't. So I would definitely welcome Lautaro. But again, it would have to mean that we would have to move on one of our key strikers in order to bring him in. He's definitely at the right age and he has the right sort of talent and the skill set and the ability. So, yeah, I would definitely take him only on the basis if we address the midfield and the right back spot.
There you go. So yeah, guys, we're now gonna have to get into the midfield and talk about some of the midfielders. But before I go, I just want to go back and give Sho and Jess an opportunity to answer the same question. Would you prefer us to go for a striker, or would you prefer for us to go and solve the right back, midfield, and goalkeeper situation for a similar price? Because I think 65 million, we'll be able to cover all three of those positions for the same price.
Are we not getting Maddison? Is this assuming that we're not going to get him? Or
I think the club just have enough money to.
So Maddison is. Let's say we've done that. Okay.
I think the club has enough money just to get Maddison and Martinez. Or get Maddison and those three players.
And so it's Lautaro or the right back in the central midfield kind of situation. Yeah. I'm going to go a little bit in a different direction. I think this is probably going to be unpopular. I know people probably don't want to hear this, but I think a midfield of Maddison, Xhaka, and Thomas Partey / Lokanga is an upgrade. It's better than what we had the year prior. And then if you add a striker to that, we've addressed every line, except for I know we want the central midfielder. We want somebody different than Xhaka, but I almost feel like a striker, especially of Lautaro Martinez, is like he can play that 9, drop in, build up play, beat his man, get a header, score tons of goals. And I think if you have that, I mean, and you have somebody like Maddison that can get the ball to him, I don't think we can rely on Aubameyang and Lacazette or whoever is going to be there. So I actually would go for the striker and improve and get rid of Xhaka the next summer. But that's just me, because that striker situation, I mean, can we really look at what we've seen in preseason and say, yeah, Aubameyang's going to get us 25 goals this season? I don't think so. So I'm going for the striker. Chambers at right back and just hope it works.
All right, so I'm just going to read this. One second, Shaw. I'm just going to read the super chat from my guy. We're talking about the front three, the midfield, Xhaka and El Neni. I beg. My guy's basically begging for us to sign midfielders and stop talking about strikers.
Well, once you give Xhaka the new contract, you're essentially saying Xhaka's starting every single game. You know what I mean? So I'm just going from that. Then if you tell me, like, add another midfielder that's maybe not going to play, no, I'd rather add a striker who I know is going to go up there and bang in goals, So I go with knowing Xhaka is going to start every single game next season if he signs a new deal, which he is.
So let me just move the conversation on. But before I do that, Sho, you were going to say something?
Yeah, it's a quick one, bro. Me personally, I'm not part of the club's finances or anything like that, and I don't even care. You know what? I don't care how much they spend on any player. Just fill the gaps. That's all I care about. Just fill the gap. So if you are going to bring in a Martinez for 65 million, cool, do it, whatever. Just make sure. I mean, Jess, I know you said like Chambers for right back. And you know what? I think that is what it's going to be. Me personally, go and get a right back. Go and get a right back exactly the same as Kieran Tierney on that left-hand side. Get the things that he can do in a player, but on the right-hand side, right?
Express, you'll take Jorginho? Same guy who said, I don't want no Chelsea reject?
Nah, but bro, he ain't a reject, bro. Jorginho is a quality midfielder.
No, so you pick and decide who's a reject.
No. A reject is someone they don't want. Tammy Abraham's a reject. They don't want him. They don't use him. Jorginho is like they ain't selling Jorginho anytime soon. I only said that because someone in the chat, like I think he's a Chelsea fan, he said, "Can you man please take Jorginho?" Mate, you ain't selling Jorginho, bro. He's big to your midfield, man. But yeah, I'd take it.
Let me just do this quickly, guys. There's 3 players that we're linked to today in the midfield.
Oh god.
Okay.
What?
I've just seen Odegaard, bro, and
Let me just explain. So we're linked to Odegaard because Odegaard was one of the players that we had on loan last year, in his loan spell, and Real Madrid are still somewhat looking to sell him because they are in a financial situation. Every time Real Madrid's financial situation comes up, we're going to be linked to Martin Odegaard. James Maddison situation. We already know James Maddison is one of the targets for Arsenal Football Club. We've supposedly submitted a bid plus player swap deal recently over the past couple of days. So we know we're still linked to him heavily. And he still has spoken to his intermediates. He wants to join Arsenal if Arsenal can make it happen and if we can pay the right money to Leicester. It's in our hands. Leicester are a selling club. They've sold players before. They've sold Harry Maguire, Conte, Chilwell, Drinkwater. They sold players. So they sell players. Let's not forget that, right? And finally, Jack Grealish has signed for Manchester City, which means Manchester City currently have a surplus of similar players within their squad. They are trying to get rid of some of the likes of Raheem Sterling, Riyad Mahrez, Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva is the lowest on that pecking order, and it looks like they might be willing to sell him. So these are the 3 players linked to Arsenal today. I personally think out of these 3, James Maddison is the best fit. Odegaard, I personally do not want. We've seen last year how he can be a passenger at times. And Bernardo Silva is not the fit and the profile that we need. He is a right winger and he plays predominantly on the right wing. We do not need another player who plays on the right wing, who cuts inside as an inside forward. We are going to have an overload of too many players on the right wing, and we're not going to have anybody on the left wing barring Kieran Tierney. We don't want that problem again. So let's get James Maddison. He drifts to the left. He plays as a center midfielder who drifts to the left because he was a left winger at a certain point in his career. Now I'm going to throw it over to you, Jess. I know you have a similar opinion on these 3 players. What do you think on the 3 players, and which one would you take?
I mean, I get the Bernardo Silva thing. I get it because any Manchester City player, including their goalkeeper, improves the technical quality on our team, right? They're all class players. So I get why we would want even their dead wood. I get it. But the idea of Bernardo Silva playing in a central role at Arsenal reeks of Willian playing number 10 for Arsenal. These players don't play there naturally. So for us to spend money, 60 million on Bernardo Silva to have him play a position that he doesn't play, doesn't really, it stinks. It doesn't feel like the right thing to do. So for me, I would just go for the player that makes, you're going to play 65 million, 70 for James Maddison or 60 million for Bernardo Silva. One plays an essential position and ticks all the boxes. And the other one is maybe he could do that. He has the quality, he can play there. Just get the guy that really works in that position, right? I would go for Maddison. I get the Bernardo Silva thing, but yeah, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Bernardo Silva, considering every other league is broke. I don't see anybody having 60 million to spend on Bernardo Silva, like in Serie A or in La Liga. So he may end up somewhere in the Premier League. So it may be an opportunity, but we don't have Champions League. But he doesn't play an essential position. And I get that he can probably play there, but Maddison plays there. So why not just get him? That's where I kind of stand. And Odegaard is, I don't know who chooses Odegaard over Maddison. I really don't,
Wild.
So
honestly, that's a wild statement. But guess what? There is people out there, Jess, who'd say spend 35 million on Odegaard. He's better than Maddison. I've heard it. So.
Listen, with that, yeah, I don't mind Odegaard. Odegaard's he's a good player. I put it this way, I'll take him over nobody, innit? It's one of them ones. I'll definitely take him over no one. But in terms of the choice of these 3, no way. I love Maddison as well. I think Maddison's brilliant. I told you, he gives me Grealish vibes. I like the way he plays. He's silky. He's arrogant on the ball. I like that. He's that cockiness kind of thing. With the Bernardo Silva thing, there's a few points I just want to make on that one, right? And Gunnar Express, help me out on this one, because I'm pretty sure you know as well. When Bernardo Silva played for Monaco, when they won the league, was he not a 10?
Predominantly, yeah.
He was a 10, right? He went to Manchester City, and obviously, to me, this is how I see it. I see it that Pep Guardiola found a system for him to play in, and he was very useful on that right wing, right? Obviously, cutting in on his left foot, he can score bangers. He's got the one-touch pass, and he's skillful. You know, he can hold the line, all of that kind of stuff there. But he has actually played in the middle for City as well, right? And he is effective.
Can I say something? He's barely played at City and the number 10.
Yeah, but look who plays in the middle for City, though, Igal.
What he plays, the way they play at City, they play with 2 8s and a DM behind them.
Yeah, I get it, bro. This is what I'm trying to say. But look who they play with. For him to fit into that midfield would be mad. Like, you've got to take one of them off, which means that he can rotate on the wing, still doing an effective job attacking wise. This is what me personally, I know he's played the last like 3-4 years is it 3? He's been there 3 years, isn't he? 3 years. He's played 3 years in the Prem on the right wing. I get it, because he's a company, he's put into that system. It's like we've all said, like, Emil Smith-Rowe plays on the left wing for Arsenal. He's not a left winger though. We know he's a number 10. He's more comfortable in the number 10 position. You know, Bernardo Silva's got an eye for a through pass. He can do wicked weighted passes. He's a quality player. Trust me, put Bernardo Silva anywhere along that front three, he bangs. He's an excellent player. I would take Bernardo Silva out of all of them over everyone, promise you. And I do think he would slot into the number 10 role effectively as well.
I could have sworn Monaco played a 4-4-2, something similar to that.
Monaco, he played a 4-4-2.
I think he played on the wide right, or
he's always played off to the right. Like, I mean, and he cuts in on his left foot. Is he not left-footed?
Yeah, he's left-footed.
I get it. I do get it, but like, I mean, I feel like he's a better quality player than Maddison. I'll give you that. Like, you know what I mean? In terms of, if you're just talking about the player not in position, nothing like that, he is better. You know, so I'm not sitting here saying Maddison is a better player than Bernardo Silva. I'm just saying, from a profile perspective, if we're going to play with Granit Xhaka and Thomas Partey in a double pivot, which we are, we're not playing in a midfield 3. If you need a number 10, why not just get somebody who naturally plays in that position than trying to hope that he makes it in the 10 position? I've also seen his numbers at an attacking mid. I don't really agree that he has the output in terms of goals and assists than people are assuming that he does. He's more of a system player. He's more of a connector than a final pass guy. But that's just me. Would I turn my nose up at it? No. But like, we're talking about playing 60 million. It has to work. So I'm going to pick the guy that actually plays in that position.
I feel you.
Before I throw it over to Azan and everybody else, I'm going to go to Gunnar Express. Gunnar Express, are you obviously we know you don't want Odegaard. Do you want Maddison or Bruno?
Bernardo, yeah.
Yeah, Bernardo. Why did I say Bruno?
Bro, I wouldn't want Bruno anyway. I don't rate him like that. But anyway, different story for a different day. United fans cry about it. When it comes, I'd say Bernardo. The reason why is for Monaco, over the 3 seasons that he was there, he was mainly a right winger. I've just checked now at the positions he played. But it's Monaco, it's not like he played right winger and barely played. Like, it's as in, like, he played 20 games at right wing, 18 games at attacking midfield. So he is a balance between the both. He can also substitute in at the left wing if he needs to. He's a very versatile player. I don't get this whole thing about him only being a right winger. He's also played a lot of centre midfield, just behind De Bruyne for City. But the way that system worked was him and De Bruyne would rotate between defending and attacking. So one of them would go forward, the other one would drop back, vice versa. So it's not like he never went forward. His stats, goal scoring and assist-wise, I think he's got 70 over about 300 games in his career, which might not be great, but he's hitting similar numbers to what Maddison's hitting. So for me, numbers-wise, I'm not really fussed. And as well, Bernardo Silva can do what Maddison can do. He can take corners, he can take free kicks. He has that versatility, something that Maddison doesn't really have. And his left foot in terms of shooting is much better than Maddison's, shooting ability. So if we need goals from midfield, I'd rather have Silva even then. But as well, I understand about that, the whole attacking midfield thing, but it's not like we can't put Smith-Rowe in the 10 and put Bernardo on the right and then maybe Saka or Pepe on the left, or even put Bernardo Silva on the left. It's like Bernardo offers a lot more rotation-wise. We can try out different formations, different tactics, different, styles of football by moving the players around, putting certain players in different positions. Whereas with Maddison, he can only really work on the 10. Very rarely he can work on the left wing because a lot of the time Harvey Barnes played there for Leicester. So for me, Silva's the better option as well. When you look at injuries, Maddison's not particularly injury prone, but he does pick up an injury at least once a season. Whereas Bernardo, he's not as injury prone. He doesn't get as many injuries. He's better at keeping fit. The only thing, obviously, that Maddison has over Bernardo Silva is the age. That's about it. It's age. So, again, I'd rather take Silva. And one last thing as well. Maddison for 70 mil or Silva for 50, 60. That tells me that Silva's better because Maddison's English. So that English quota and that English price tag is going to be there. You take that off, he's probably worth really about 40 to 50. Which is the same price as what Bernardo is. So for me, I'd take Bernardo Silva any day. I mean, I'm not hearing this whole thing about not wanting to fund other teams buying certain players. Like if City want to get Grealish or Kane, they will get Grealish and Kane. They don't need someone to buy a player. They will get those players. The only reason they're getting rid of people like Bernardo is because they're surplus to requirements. That's about it. Whereas, let's be honest, we can all admit Grealish is better than Bernardo, right? So that's why Bernardo's been sold because they've just gone and got Grealish, who is miles ahead of both of them.
Can I show you something? What do we scream about? Goals from midfield and trying to create it.
That was last season. He had a better season the season before, man.
Okay. Let me.
So did Maddison, didn't he? Wasn't this Maddison's worst season ever?
Let me go to the season before. This was Bernardo Silva's best season. The season before, or was it the season before that? You want to go to 2018 now?
All right, whatever, man. All right, just stick to last season.
Look, Bernardo Silva's best season in the Premier League. Well, he had 70 created chances, right? Maddison had a poor season last season. If you go to the season before that,
doesn't say how many games they played, right? How much they done?
It does. I can scroll up if you want. Let me go to James Maddison's 2018-2019 season. Look at that. 2018-2019 season. My guy created 100 chances in comparison to Bernardo Silva's 71 chances. This is a guy who will get us goals, get us assists. Is he younger? James Maddison is younger than Bernardo Silva. Am I wrong?
Just a year, I feel.
Just a year.
Maybe.
And also, you have to look at the heat maps of where James Maddison plays in comparison to where Bernardo Silva plays. They play two completely different styles of football. One guy's predominantly drifting to the right flank. We already have an issue of all our attacks going to the right. Now we're going to be singing that all year. I don't want that. I personally don't want that.
Put up the games played. I want to compare it. One sec.
Wait, Miguel, are you saying last season predominantly our attacking was coming from our right flank?
I think what Miguel's trying, like,
I'm saying, like, you don't want all your goals scorers coming from that right flank. You want some goals.
No, I hear you.
No,
Like,
I
you want to
kinda,
utilize both flanks.
I get what Miguel's trying to say as well. Like, we have two players in Pepe and Saka that both want to cut in on their left foot. They both keep doing that. And when Odegaard was there and he's left-footed, all of them were trying to cut in on their left. It's just the balance is not there. So having Bernardo, again, another lefty on that right-hand side trying to cut in on his left, to me, it's just the balance is not there. But again, he's still a really good player. I'd still get him, but I think Maddison is the better fit.
Look at where James Maddison takes up his positions, Jess.
Yeah,
that's the position where Kieran Tierney's by himself.
And there you go. He's not an attacking midfielder.
So then Maddison's competition can be Martinelli.
He's a left winger. Look, he's not in the midfield. Look at his map in the midfield.
Well, that's the same with Grealish as well, Gunarex.
Yeah, but Grealish is a left winger, though. That's the thing.
No,
Grealish
he's not. He's a cam, but he plays as a left forward, he has that freedom of floating all across that attacking line.
Aslan, Grealish is a
look at Bernardo Silva.
Grealish is a left winger.
Okay, but look at Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva's a right winger.
If you say so.
Yeah, because he's because he's playing right wing. He's in the right wing position, bro. Whereas Maddison, who's in the 10, is drifting so far to the left and leaving that gap open. Silva is sticking to his position.
Doesn't Smith Rowe do the same thing? Like, I'm confused.
Not really,
Yeah, he
no.
does.
Well, yeah, doesn't Smith Rowe
does.
start in
Smith Rowe
the
in North London
to the
derby.
left?
No, Smith
Smith
Rowe
Rowe in the
drives
North London
forward.
derby
Smith Rowe
was
doesn't
playing on the
drive to the
left flank.
left.
No, he
Smith Rowe
doesn't,
against
man.
Leeds was playing
No,
on
No,
the
he
left flank.
doesn't. He's always doing diagonal runs towards the left, bro.
No, he doesn't.
That's the sort of space that he
no.
hunts for.
No,
Our front line do interchange.
No,
They do
this
Guys, one
is
second.
where
I think we're giving
Arteta's
Jess a
confused
headache.
you all.
Jess, are you okay?
Bro, this is where.
No, but let me let me just briefly give my
Aslan.
thoughts. Yeah,
No, Aslan,
on this
Aslan,
whole
Aslan. Smith
out
Rowe
of the
plays on
three.
the left wing. He's been playing on the left wing.
If you
Guys,
give
He's
me a
gonna make
choice
those
out of the
runs.
three, personally, I wouldn't take Odegaard. I don't want to buy any players from any of those Spanish teams. I hope Real Madrid and Barca burn to the ground. Yeah, they've got they're finally getting what was coming to them. So I don't want to mess with Real Madrid. Same with Bernardo Silva. For me, look, I've said, you guys have heard me say it. I'll say it again. I don't want us to identify a player from a club that is surplus to requirements. I want us to go for a player who's the best player for that team or for that club. So if it means we need to go for a player who finished below us, I'm all for that. I won't turn my nose up against that. Yeah. But this Bernardo Silva thing, if he is surplus requirements from Pep, it's a major no-no. And also, I don't want us to fund their summer signings. Yes.
No, Aslan.
They've already why is everyone interrupting me, bro? When you man talk, do I interrupt you?
No,
Have some manners,
sorry,
man.
Aslan.
My bad, bro. Go ahead.
Why is everyone jumping? Okay.
No, it's all good. It's all good. But look, what I'm trying to say is, look, they're potentially going to get Harry Kane, innit? So I don't want us to fork out 40, 50, whatever mil on Bernardo Silva in aiding them to fund them to go out and get Harry Kane, potentially. I'm not saying it will happen, but it may be likely to. Or we may be just reducing what their summer spending has been, because when have we seen Man City spend this sort of money? So they've set the British transfer record. So I wouldn't get Bernardo Silva. For me, Maddison. Because if we get Maddison, then there's more of a chance of us not getting Ramsdale and probably going getting Onana. That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah? Because I want Onana's name ringing around the Emirates next year. That's what I want. But if we don't get Maddison and get Bernardo, then we have to go and get Ramsdale, because supposedly we need to meet this English or homegrown quota.
We don't know, bro. We can go and get Johnston or Woodman.
Well, bro, if we're offering,
why are we so?
If we're offering up to 4 of our academy graduates in Nelson, Nketiah, Willock, and Ainsley Maitland-Niles, that's what's been reported in order to get Maddison. I'm not saying we're offering them all 4 at once, but we're giving Leicester a choice of the 4, one of the 4. Yeah, but that suggests to me that Arteta doesn't have these lads in his plans,
guys.
So if we get potentially send them out on loan, our homegrown quota is going to be low. So of course we're going to have to go and get Ramsdale.
1 second. I just want to respond to somebody in the comment section talking shit. I don't know why I do this, but here's a picture of me when I was playing football, probably before you were even born. So that's me right there in the corner. If you can see underneath the
Bundy's little haters.
There you go. Anyways, guys think just even from Toronto, I don't.
Wait a second though. I just Aslan, what you're saying, yeah. First off, Sheikh Mansour and them man don't need anyone to buy their players to fund them.
That is bullshit.
No, it's not.
Bro, up until they bought Jack Grealish, what was their world record transfer signing, bro? Was it more than 60 mil?
What is it? 60, 70 mil for Sterling?
Guys, Jess's face is killing me because she's like, when I'm done. I just, because everyone's camera's usually off, so I can't see people's facial expressions. But yeah, let's just stop talking about the same thing.
That would have got juicy, because even I wanted to add something to that as well. So I was just waiting.
I'm looking this up. No, here you go. Kevin De Bruyne 68 mil, Ruben 61 mil, Riyad Mahrez 61 mil, Joao Cancelo 58, Emerick Laporte 68, Raheem Sterling 57, Rodri 56. 51 for Benjamin Mendy, 50 for John Stones. These guys.
There you go. You just proved my point. They haven't spent over 60 plus mil.
No, they have. They spent 68 million on Kevin De Bruyne.
I'm saying 60 plus mil, bro.
Yeah,
Aslan,
yeah,
hold on a sec.
68 mil.
Aslan,
68 mil.
Aslan, you said you
That's
don't want
why I'm
to.
saying the plus.
But
Yeah,
Aslan, you
yeah,
said you don't
yeah,
want to fund
Aslan,
that.
50
Aslan.
odd plus
Hold
million.
on, wait,
Aslan,
man, wait, man, wait.
68
million.
I'm muting myself.
You man said Aslan said you don't want to fund the rivals, right? But you want to go to Leicester and put 65 million in their pocket. It's basically just funding.
That's more funding the rivals than City, really.
Exactly, because they can't afford just to buy players. They need to make money to
We've
sell.
literally just funded them to actually go ahead and kick on, bro. Plus, on top of that, you say Deadwood and stuff like you don't want surplus to requirement players, right? Would you man have taken Leroy Sané for 50 mil when he was available last season? Because that player is amazing.
Yeah,
No, he's injury prone.
Yeah.
He's injury prone.
Yeah. But I would have taken that bro in a heartbeat. And apparently,
he was one of the best wingers in the league at the time, man.
in the world, man. That bro was hitting numbers.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Pre-injury. When he came back from injury, what was he saying then?
Listen,
what is that mean?
About
I don't get the funding thing. Like, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, like, we just need to focus on ourselves. Like, we can't be worried. Like, you know, if I get it, but I don't at the same time, because ultimately, like, they can use that money and use it poorly. We don't really know. I don't know. I just think we need to focus on ourselves. I would still take Maddison, even if they went out and bought whoever. You know, Leicester, they're going to go out and buy some more unknown type of player and bring them up and whatever. So, I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? You know, and really the teams that we want to really compete with, the Manchester Uniteds and the Cities and all of them, they don't worry about taking players from like Leicester, do they? They don't care. They do it all the time. They don't worry, you know. So if we want to start acting like a bigger club, we shouldn't be worried about funding Leicester. And we're definitely not funding Manchester City because they got that money.
They got their fund.
You know what we're doing, Jess? You know what we're doing? We're making it easy for them to get rid of an issue, which is having too many players in a club. That when you have so many players of the same position, similar ilk, similar play style, it gets to a point where your team becomes devalued and your players become devalued. Not only can your players become devalued if you have a bad team, but if you have too many players of good quality that are not playing, they get frustrated and their prices become devalued. So Bernardo Silva, if he doesn't leave to Arsenal, he might leave abroad, but nobody abroad has any money. So it makes sense.
I think he stays in the Premier League. We're the only ones that have money.
And then that's the thing, Jess. Who in the top six, who would take Bernardo Silva? Who needs him? Who would want to spend out that money?
Spurs, Leicester.
Spurs don't have money.
Wow.
Go straight back to my phone after that.
No, wait a second. What about this? What about if we buy Maddison, Spurs go buy Bernardo Silva? Not Spurs, Leicester.
That sounds like it could happen.
Bro, if they're replacing Maddison with Bernardo Silva, that would.
But listen, when I bring up examples of other clubs doing things, we get spoken about. Why do we care about other clubs? So in this case, why do you care who they sign if we get our target?
No, but that's the thing. Maddison shouldn't be the target because he's overpriced. He's not worth the money.
Just to put it out,
you change your tune like the weather. I'm confused.
I mean,
bro, I don't change my tune. I don't change my
they?
tune. From the beginning, I've said that Maddison's overpriced. He's not worth 70 mil.
Bro, a lot of the footballers that are bought and sold today are overpriced. The football's inflated.
Bro,
yes? And we know attacking players come out of a premium price. And if you add to the fact that the English tax, it is what it is, bro.
Exactly.
This is today's football.
Exactly. That's why we should get Bernardo Silva, who is worth his price tag and isn't overpriced.
Okay, so guys, just to give you guys some clarity on what the poll currently stands at. Let me show you guys the poll and what it currently stands at. Everyone, there's a poll currently going on the YouTube channel if you want to check that poll out.
I was going to say to you, I was just literally going to post my one. I was going to say to you, but go on, put your one.
This is currently what the poll is standing at. 137 people have voted. 52% are saying James Maddison. 26% are saying Bernardo Silva. 19% saying Odegaard. I don't know what those 19% saying Odegaard think Odegaard's a better option or cheaper, what the reason behind that is, but I find that baffling. Even 19% voted for him.
Is the poll still up?
The poll is still up.
I put our poll out at 2 p.m. right? I let it go for 5 hours there. It went to like 400 votes, right? And you got loads of people in there like commenting, not really voting or whatnot. But then the vote outcome came out. Bernardo Silva got 35% and Maddison got 65%, bro. So I guess the people have spoken. They all prefer Maddison. I mean, I'm in the camp of Bernardo Silva, to be honest. I love that guy, man. I think he's amazing. He's such a baller, man. Like, there's nothing about him. I just think he's sick, innit? Like, but I don't want people to be like saying that just because I preferred Silva over Maddison. I don't rate Maddison because I really, really rate Maddison.
You know that's how it goes, though.
Bro,
You know that's how it goes. It has to be binary. It has to be binary. There's nothing in between.
So it's mad, isn't it? Like I even put out. I like Odegaard, but when it comes to these players here, like he doesn't hold a tune, bro. I'm sorry, and I would much rather take them two. And then if I had to take one out of them two, I'm taking Silva. But,
and if you're paying 60, go ahead.
One of my guys said I missed his super chat. Sorry about that. F all three of these guys. Awar and Aarons is the only acceptable answer.
Oh, okay.
Awar and Max Aarons.
Oh wow! I mean, I'm torn with him. I'm torn with him, man. So
he's like in
for Max Aarons. Are you in for Max Aarons?
What's happened with this whole Awar thing? Like, literally, his price tag has been slashed in half. But
the issue is it's not 25 million. You have to pay. You're gonna have to pay under the table because his situation is terrible. You know, the fact that nobody has touched him lets you know that there's something not right there. And they're saying it's his agent. Like, it's not just 25 million. It's 25 million and whatever else they need to pay out for agents and all that. It's kind of like the Pepe thing. You know how we paid way more than we probably should have for it. So, and I wouldn't be surprised if Edu was put off by it. It was a really weird thing that went on for a long time that he looked really bad in. And the end of the day, a lot of people thought Edu just didn't get it done. But I mean, if you had to pay 20 million extra to get him there, and he was never worth like 45, 50 million. He wasn't. Like, he's definitely worth about 30. So I would say like he's like an also, like if we could sell extra players and still bring him in, but I don't even think that he does more than Emil Smith-Rowe. I think Smith-Rowe off of the left can do what Awar is doing, what he does.
But
you know,
he isn't his profile more of a box to box or a goal scoring eight?
Like a goal scoring eight. You know,
eight. Yeah, an attacking.
He's really good, but I mean, something stinks.
You know what George said yesterday, Lisa? I was speaking to George, and he's like, "Why, if he was our number one target last summer, he's cheaper this summer, and we have not gone in for him?"
His agent.
Well, yeah, but I heard that apparently he got rid of his brother and found a new agent. Like,
how do you get rid of you,
or were they just whispers? Or
Azan, his brother is still running the show, and that's why everyone's not touching him.
I mean, he's going around making promises. I mean, that's what I heard.
Look, this is what makes me laugh with Arsenal fans. We all complain about not wanting to deal with people like Mino Raiola. Like, we don't want players that have him as an agent, whatever. But then we all want Awar and blame his agent. Like, it's the same thing for me then. Like, I don't want Awar if his agent's going to be there, because if he's going to keep causing problems, I don't want him in anywhere near the club. I don't. Because we've seen what Mino Raiola has done to certain clubs. We've seen what people like Kia Giratrin have done to certain clubs. Jorge Mendes as well. Why should we deal with an agent who is only interested in his self-gain, not even his client, his self-gain? Why should we bother bringing him to Arsenal? Why should
I guess that's why we didn't buy him last season, then, isn't it?
Well, I hope that's the case, because I don't want a player whose agent's going to be a twat. You know, if the player wants to come to Arsenal, get rid of your agent then. Yeah. Get rid of your agent. Get someone new.
People,
a lot of the comments are saying Awar isn't good.
We're going to wrap it up now because we've spent an hour and 20 minutes and Jess got to go do her own show on her channel. If you guys haven't already checked that out, she knows Arsenal. Gunnar Express has his channel, the Gunnar Express. We got show on Twitter right there. You can see his @ you can see Aslan's @ we're always on Twitter Spaces. And Jess, we're going to be doing the Twitter Spaces pre-games before all the games during the regular season on your Twitter. So guys, stay tuned for that. There's a lot of things coming this season, so stay tuned for that. Watch this space. And Sunday is the next video. I'm not going to be doing a video tomorrow because I'm going to be linking up with the guys from the Football Terrace. But if you guys want me to do so, I'll do I'll do a vlog if you want me to do so. Let me know.
Yeah, do that, man. Do that.
Do it. Yeah, do it.
Anyways, I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day. Peace.